Hey, what's up, guys? Anybody that's watching right now? Yeah, I'm back already with a live stream, and it's not been that long, but well, been less than a year since I'd done one of these live show review streams.
Hmm. Yeah. My
Review with
boys
that.
don't grown up.
I'm older than you. Stop it. You're my boy. Both of you are my boys. Let's get that
Hey,
straight.
I'm the child of the group. Always have and always will. So you have that.
Yeah. But anyways, so no, it's been less than a year since I've done one of these live show review streams. But
Hmm.
2 nights ago, first club show I've ever gone to. Only my third show altogether. The first two were outdoors. This was my first club show at Legends in Cincinnati, and it was the final show at that venue. And I'll be honest with you, it sucks that it's the last show at that venue because it's not a bad place. Granted, it's small, like I could maybe count 150, 200 people were in the crowd for
250
the show.
tops, depending on the size.
Yeah, but you could move around and not worry about bumping into somebody too much. But yeah, I saw Exciter, Midnight, Wraith, and Hellwitch. All underground legend bands or upcomers in some cases, like Hellwitch, seen as kind of an underrated pioneer of the Florida metal scene as a whole, kind of like a hybrid of tech death, but more on the thrash end of the scale. Wraith, of course, blackened thrash speed metal from Indianapolis. Midnight, of course, blackened speed metal from Cleveland. And Exciter, speed metal pioneers from Canada. Eh?
I'm just gonna
Eh?
say this: we need a tour with Hell Ripper and Hellwitch. Call it the Hells Tour.
And Halloween. Halloween, Hellripper, Hellwitch.
Too many hells. Hey, make it the 9 circles of hell. We need 6 more bands with hell.
So Full of Hell, Gates of Hell,
Hellwitch.
the band Hell. I think that's all I can think of right now.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so yeah, left here a little bit before noon because I got the VIP stuff to hang out before the show because we had to get there at least before 3 o'clock. Though I will say the road getting there was horrible. On 52. Once I got past Aberdeen, which is like an hour away from here, the roads were shit after that. And then going through the interstate to get into the area where the venue was, we practically drove through the ghetto of Cincinnati. But thankfully, where the venue was, it wasn't in the ghetto area, and it was a straight road to another city I went to for a little bit. But got there at about 3 o'clock, waited a little bit outside for the stuff to begin, and there was only 6 other people that did the VIP with me. And unfortunately, my cousin didn't get to come with me because he got called into work and he couldn't take the day off, unfortunately. So I basically lost $100 on tickets, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But anyways, got there, and then about 3:15, we got to go into the venue, and there's Exciter right there at the bar. And I was kind of like play hiding from DK just to see if he could see me, be like, "Hey, where's Levi at?" And he saw me, and then I walked up to him, and he gave me a big hug, and then we started talking for a little bit, and it's like, man, after 4 years, we finally met. Then I went and talked to Dan, the drummer and vocalist, and super nice guy. And then Alan Johnson, the bassist, the elder of the band, super nice guy as well, and did pictures. In fact, I will actually show off some of these pictures on screen for you all.
Now, is DK the youngest member of the band?
He's 3 years older than me. He's like James's age.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know he was didn't he recently join a band like what
2018.
Yeah, so a little
6
over
years
5
ago.
years ago. And hello, just another heavy metal maniac. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm gonna get the pictures up. So yeah, there's DK and I. Some extra shots, and then there's Dan and I. And then there's Alan Johnson and I.
Mm-hmm.
And then group photos with Exciter. This one was my favorite where we're looking down. And also, you notice in the background here by the bathrooms, those are all celebrity mug shots. Like there was one of Nicolas Cage, there was one of Mike Tyson. There were quite a few.
I would love to see that Nick Cage one.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I'll get to the other pictures in a moment, but
the guy to the right of you looked like a poodle.
But what, Dan?
Yeah, his hair looked like a poodle.
Oh my lord! I'll tell him you said that. No, I'm just kidding.
It'll hunt you down. It will kill you, eh?
But anyways, so then after we talked and took pictures, we got to go watch their sound check out in the concert area. And for a little bit, they couldn't get the bass guitar audible. Like they kept checking, Alan was not getting any bass sound, and then they finally got it fixed. So it was like, yes. And DK's like, so now you get to see the wonderful world of sound checking. And then after sound check was over, we got early access to all the Exciter merch. So let me grab the shit.
I don't want to see your shit.
I said the.
There's the Richard.
Whether there's a the or not, I don't see the shit.
Oh, trust me, if you wanted to see my shit, I'd deliver it to you in a bowl with some chocolate sprinkles, motherfucker. In fact, you know what? When you take a shit in the toilet, pick it up and eat it. Be a man.
If your broad's in the shower, just take it up. Be a man.
Yep. But anyway, so yeah, first off, got this really cool tour sticker for the whole show.
Nice.
And then this is pretty special, a reprint of a flyer from '84, I think, of Exciter and Megadeth and Sentinel Beast playing.
Nice.
I assume this was '84. It had to have been because this was after Megadeth first formed. It could have been '85. But yeah, it was Monday, July 29th in Sacramento, California. And then a poster for the tour signed by all of Exciter. Got a little dinged up in the truck when I left the merch in there, but I'm going to eventually have this framed.
Nice.
Eventually.
You gotta put it in your background somehow.
And it's going to be tough because that's the background. But anyway, so then after, and then the final piece of Exciter merch, the Exciter tour shirt with all the cities on the back. So, and I got an XL. It does fit me. It's just a little tight around my belly, but after a good wash and a little stretching, I'm good to go.
It should be fine.
Yeah. Because some XL shirts fit me perfectly and others a little bit tight.
I guess it all depends on the material.
Yeah, like that's pretty thin, so. But anyway, so after getting that stuff signed, then I also bought these two albums, Long Live the Loud and Unveiling the Wicked, signed by the band, which I'll talk more about these in a future collection update.
Nice.
So, and then after all that, went outside, and I was waiting for my ride to come and get me to go out and do whatever else. And lo and behold, I'm sitting there talking with another guy who was at the VIP. He had on the gauntlets and bullet belt and a badass midnight shirt. I'm talking with this guy, and then lo and behold, here comes a van pulled in by the front door to the venue and opens up and carrying a box of merch. It was Jamie, a.k.a. Athanar from Midnight, without the costume.
Really?
I saw him,
Really?
and I figured, oh, is that Jamie? And so I'm like, hi, I'm Levi. He's like, hey, I'm Jamie. Nice to meet you. We didn't get to talk because he had to go and unload stuff, but that was pretty funny that I met him before the show, and then my ride came, and then we went to 30 minutes outside of the city to Lawrenceburg, Indiana, to the casino and see how we do. We didn't lose a whole lot, but not the worst. And then we came back, went into the show at 6:30, and actually Hellwitch was already starting to play, so I may have missed a song or two, but I got in there and immediately Hellwitch fucking killed it. Probably the fastest band of the entire set. And Pat, the front man, sounded feral on stage, like absolutely feral, like decent sound, even though I had earplugs on. I honestly could have taken the earplugs out, and I don't think it would have affected me. It wasn't super loud in there, which is interesting. But now back to some pictures. Well, at least this one picture. So before the show, I was messaging back and forth with the band Acid Mass, which is a thrash / black and thrash band from Cincinnati. One-man band by a guy named Ben Ricketts. He was messaging me saying, hey, you're going to that Exciter show? Yeah. Well, hey, I'd like to meet up with you, because he saw I did a review of his first album September of last year. And we met up, and then this picture, kind of shitty quality, but it's me and him. We both were wearing Sodom shirts. Super nice guy. I ended up kind of hanging out with him throughout much of the show.
I was wondering who that was.
Yeah. So, first time a band recognized me. So, interesting how that happens. And as he was very thankful that I reviewed his first album that he gave me, both Acid Mass albums, the debut Agonizer and the new one review coming tomorrow for the new album Worship. So free gifts.
You have the new album?
Yeah, this is out now, and I got it 2 days before release.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, first time been given gifts from a band, so maybe that opens the door for more. I don't know. I'm not greedy like that, but you never know. But anyway, so Hellwitch played, and while Hellwitch was playing, I went ahead and got some more merch, which then leads to this badass Wraith shirt.
Nice.
The only regret is I didn't get a Midnight shirt, and that's only because they only had small and medium.
I hate that.
Extra large.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
And they had they only had two different shirts, but the one I was wanting to get myself and for Scott was one that had the logo, but with like a yellow illustration of Athanar with a burning bass going, which looked really, really cool. I'm like, dude, Scott would appreciate that because him being a bass player. And it's the easiest shirt that I could wear elsewhere without being looked at like I'm some sort of demon. So, but to make up for that, wait, where did I put? Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Where the hell is it?
Were you sitting on it?
Was it stuck on? It was stuck on my ass.
Is this your card? Is this your card?
All right, so then I also almost forgot I got an Exciter Heavy Metal Maniac patch, and the one piece of Midnight merch I got was a midnight patch.
Ooh, that's an awesome one. You gotta start learning how to. Oh,
Good luck with that. And actually, this was the display model too. This was the display patch that they had because they ran out of the other ones to sell. So the lady in charge, I assume it was Jamie's wife or girlfriend or whatever. But yeah, this was the display patch, so they sold it to me for $5.
it's not bad.
Yeah, so eventually, yeah, these will be on the battle vest. But anyway, so then after Hellwitch played, then Wraith was set to take the stage. And then in the meantime, while Wraith was playing, I got approached by one of my friends from Instagram, Jessie, and she immediately was like, "Hey, how's it going?" Gave me a big hug and then introduced me to her husband who went to the show with her. And he's a cool dude with a big freaking beard that I wish I could grow, but I can't.
Dynasty style?
Yeah, pretty much Duck Dynasty style. Like, no joke. But yeah, so I got to hang out with them throughout most of the show. And oh my God, I tell you, so many hot chicks at that show. So many hot chicks.
Should have gotten a number.
Okay. Was there a lot of cake?
You tell me.
You tell me. You were there.
You tell me, because I said hot chicks, that means cake.
Fair enough.
Any cake that stood out?
One chick had an amorphous shirt, and I was thinking, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Fruitcake.
Did you go all dun, dun, dun,
I'm not creepy. Stop.
I mean, no,
Show
not
some
creepy,
class,
but like,
rookie. Come on.
hey,
You
I've been to more shows than both of you combined. I know the proper way.
That's fair. I plan on going to a couple shows this year at least.
I got a couple lined up, but we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But so anyways, and then after Wraith played, I walked up to the Hellwitch merch where Pat was there and introduced myself to Pat, and I said, "Hey, nice to meet you, Pat. I just want to let you know I'm actually friends with your wife, Pixie, because we used to play video games on Twitch all the time." He's like, "Oh yeah, I think she told me about you." And then and the biggest revelation about this, he was saying like, she's so cool, but yet she's into all that crazy, brutal, extreme stuff that I'm not necessarily into, like Cryptopsy and Cannibal Corpse. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, you kind of are in a bit of a death metal band, at least early death metal. I don't know.
The duality of man. The duality of man.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I bought these two albums, if I can get to them bastards. Here we go. So I bought the new one that came out last year, Annihilational Intercension, and the debut album, which, oh God, I gotta figure out how to pronounce his first word. Sizeable Misancre, or what the fuck? Misecrony? Whatever. It's weird.
Like that. Something like that.
But yeah, this was the debut album from 1990, and this is actually really hard to find. Like, when I was adding this to my Discogs, this album was going for $100. So I got this for only like 12, and this came with their 91 Terra Symmetry EP from 91. But yeah, this was recorded at More Sound by Scott Burns, 1990. So, and yeah, and there's young Pat right there in the middle.
Yeah,
young Pat.
I'm looking at that album title. How the fuck do you say that first one?
I know. Sigile? Maybe. And then the last piece of merch I bought the new Wraith album, which this is more than likely going to be on my year-end list.
Same.
But anyways, and then midnight takes the stage, and immediately it was dark, bells tolling, lights coming on and off, lights coming on and off, bells, and then unleashed into unholy black and roll essentially. And oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
I
that
think
is
out
awesome.
of all 4 sets, I think Midnight might have had the best set possibly.
They play a lot of the classics.
They played quite a few. They played Unholy and Rotten, which that was the big standout. That was the closer. They played Sex Witchery, Fuck Off and Live, Satanic Royalty,
Yes.
Satanic Royalty, Black Rock and Roll. Like, they played so many damn good songs.
Did he play any off the new album?
Yeah, Fuck Off and Live.
Oh yeah.
But
I need to get that album.
yeah, it's good, but I do wish it was a bit longer though. But it is what it is. But yeah, and actually there were only 2 pits, one during Wraith and one during Midnight. I was about 10 feet away from the Wraith pit, and I was tempting to go in there, but I thought, well, I got CDs in my pocket. I don't want to risk breaking them, so I'm just going to stay back for this time. Maybe the next club show I go to and I don't have merch in my pocket, maybe I'll be brave enough to go into a pit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Midnight played and it was incredible. And Athanar actually jumped off the stage and went outside. So I went out there and met him in the costume. And lo and behold, we get this badass pick.
You son bitch. You met the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Yeah, and funny enough, the lady in the middle, the lady I met, Jessie, she photobombed my shot. And I told her about it. She felt so bad, but I'm like, no, don't feel bad. That was hilarious.
I've had that happen when I met Richard from Cradle Film. There was a guy who photobombed me, and I was like, it was so fucking funny when that happened.
But yeah, I met Athanar, and then let me get to one of the big pictures that I took. And that was with Pat from Hellwitch, which, man, I towered over him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
Based on how tall I am, I say he's probably like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
So I'm taller than him.
Because I'm 6 foot.
Because I'm 5'8".
I think I'm a bit taller than him too.
Yeah. But yeah, immediately after, yesterday I sent the picture to Pixie on Instagram and Discord, but she hasn't responded yet. And if Pixie by some miracle saw those pics, I hope she smiled. I really, really do. But then after I met Pat, I went and finally got a drink of water, because one of the only other bad things about that show, it was boiling hot. In that club, like no AC. It was basically all like ceiling fans and fans they had set up around the place to get some kind of air. It felt like 90 plus degrees in there, and it was like 75 out during the show. So
did they not have like the front doors open at all?
Well, they did have like the side door where you can go out into the like a patio area to smoke or whatever. They had that door open, which brought in a little bit of light because it was pretty dark in there during the sets, and they would turn the lights on whenever there were breaks in between. But yeah, I went to the water fountain to get a drink of water because I wasn't going to buy water. Although for those booze heads, because this was the final show at this venue, you could have got yourself a beer for just $2. Just nice. A $2 beer if you wanted to.
They were like, fuck it. Let's give the people what they want for.
Yep. But regardless. And then after all those shenanigans, then it was Exciter's turn to play. And they put on a killer set. They played Stand Up and Fight, Heavy Metal Maniac, Pounding Metal, and DK shredded that damn solo on Pounding Metal.
Yeah, I got a couple of their albums.
I now have their first 4. Heavy Metal Maniac, Violence and Force, Long Live the Loud, Unveiling the Wicked. Like, perhaps their 4 best.
Yeah, I got their debut album too. I got that, Blood of the Tyrant, and The Dark Command. So
I need to get Heavy Metal Maniac. Hell, I need to get any Exciter.
Yeah. But trying to get this tape off of this Midnight patch, but it's kind of taking some of the things off. Like now it's all kind of raggedy, but it's okay. The patch is still intact. But so yeah, Exciter put on a killer set. Although I ended up leaving the show like a song or two early just because it was so brutal in there. Like in the heat, like I thought I was about to
melt.
So, and they did play for about an hour, so I felt like I got my fill. So I left the show at about 10 o'clock, got back home at midnight at a good time, only stopped once, and that was that. So overall, even though first show I went to, Fire of the Gods was okay, The Who, HU was very entertaining, and Megadeth kicked ass. And then last year, Lorna Shore, the Gojira kicked ass, and Mastodon kicked ass. I think in terms of like overall show, this has been by far the best one I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like consistency and quality, I would say.
Yeah,
because you have 4 like great bands right there. Like no against like all the other bands that you mentioned, but in terms of like overall quality, and obviously Exciter being the old guard, and all these young bucks coming in and all that stuff.
Yeah, the old guard being Exciter and Hellwitch, and then
Hellwitch,
the middle ground being Midnight, and then the young guard of Wraith.
Yeah.
And then actually during the time when I was hanging out with Ben from Acid Mass, he was just all in the crowd and hanging out with me for a good chunk of Midnight set. And I looked next to me. I didn't know it at the time until later. The guys from Wraith were standing by me. And I didn't recognize him at first. Although I didn't recognize him at first until I saw the front man walk right past me. Actually, during Wraith set, DK walked past me in the crowd. So, yeah, most of the time the bands were all in the crowd watching each other. And then when Exciter was playing, I saw Jamie Athanar pack up his merch to take outside to the van to load up for the next night, which was Brooklyn last night.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was pretty much it for the show. So overall, like I said, probably the best show I've been to, and I would love to go to one more before the year's out, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But definitely next year, I'm pushing for some stuff. Like I would love to go to Maryland Death Fest next year, but that looks to be off the table, unfortunately.
They're still adding more bands left, right, and center.
Yeah, and I would have loved to have gone to Full Terror Assault this year, but didn't get timing for that. And on top of that, this is the final one. They're not doing it anymore, which is like shit.
Yeah, I have three shows lined up for the year. I have Till Lindemann with Twin Temple in September. In October, I have Creator, Possessed, and Testament. That's gonna be hell of a fun.
I wish I could go to that one.
You lucky bastard.
And then in November, I have Iron Maiden for the second time.
Really? Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
With the Hue opening.
Oh.
If I were to go to a show that's been announced coming up that I would like to go to, if I didn't have to sit through fucking 6 Feet Under, I would go to that Nile show in, I think it's January, February.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, at the same time, I was like, I love Nile. Then again, I met Dallas recently. So I was like, I want him to meet Bacon Carl. But then again, 6 Feet Under. But then again, it's Barnes. So I'm like,
can't I just walk outside and hang out for that until Nile?
Can
plays?
I just go to Nile and that's it?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to meet Chris Barnes because of Cannibal. At least for that.
What are you talking about? That man sucks.
But next year, I don't know. Next year, I have no concerts planned yet. Well, I know for sure. There is one band that I know for sure. The minute they announce the tour, I'm fucking going. Swallow the Sun. Because they have an album set to be released this year. So I'm like, just give me the fucking album. Give me the fucking tour.
But yeah, I saw like the tour dates for that Nile 6 Feet Under Psychroptic Embryonic Autopsy tour. They're playing both Columbus and Cincinnati, and they're also playing Cleveland as well, but all at different times. Like they're playing Cleveland, then Columbus the next night, and then 6 days later they're in Cincinnati.
And then King Diamond announcing a tour, which I'm like, what the fuck?
I was thinking about doing that one. King Diamond, Overkill, and Night Demon.
I'm thinking of doing that one too, because
the front woman for Mirkur, she's doing guest vocals with King Diamond.
Which I'm like, yeah. I'm debating on going to that one because they have 2 dates in Texas, one in San Antonio, one in Houston. The one in Houston is 2 days before the Possessed Creator, and I'm either thinking of going to San Antonio, stay there for the 2 days for the 2 concerts, or go to Houston back and forth. So I'm debating on that one.
Yeah.
I have 3 that I look like I might be able to go, but then again, if I manage to get one out of the 3 that look good on paper, then I'll be happy. I plan on seeing Cooper and Zombie live. That's happening next month. I'm mainly... The reason why I'm kind of waiting on it is because I want to go with a friend, but if I don't, then I ain't gonna hold anyone's feet to the fire. I just like to go with a friend. Offers on the table, but still haven't gotten a full response back yet. That Overkill and King Diamond one, which popped up out of nowhere, I am willing to go to that one. There's a Frozen Soul and a Gate Creeper one that got announced.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
I saw that.
Because Frozen Soul actually played near me, I think about like an hour from me, like 2 weeks ago, but I couldn't go because I had to take care of my aunt's dog, which I'm like, fuck, I could have went to that. So I missed out.
You were scotted. You got scotted.
Yeah, essentially.
Because Scott was going to go to the Exciter tour, I think the show tonight, but no, because Michelle needed him for something.
Yeah. And then, well, this kind of makes it a 4th one. Wasp. They announced a tour. I plan on maybe seeing in November.
That's another one that I saw. I was like, they have a date in November, at the end of November, and I'm like, shit, man. That's the one because you're going to play the entire debut album with Dark Angel? No, Death Angel.
Yeah, with Death Angel. And make another album, please, Blackie. It's been nearly 10 years.
I think he's going to make an album.
He has to. Because this is the longest Wasp has not made an album in their entire career. But who knows? They might retire. They've been going since the 80s.
But I was saying yesterday after that Opeth single dropped, what a year it's been for like big moments for prog, because Mike Portnoy back in Dream Theater, and now Michael's growling on an Opeth album again. Who had those on their bingo card?
No one.
Nobody.
And who also had Gojira opening for the Paris Olympics?
Nobody.
What?
I never thought that Gojira, because I was like, oh, they're in France. I was like, okay, France, whatever. I was not expecting Gojira to open the fucking Olympics. I was like, oh, they're going to bring some artist, some French artist. Nope. Fucking Gojira. I was like,
oh my God. That I would have loved to be in a pit to start.
When I was watching it live, I was like, okay. And I think they announced it a day before that the Gojira was gonna open. I was like, I'm watching this. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, it was like honestly, after Gojira played the opening ceremonies, fuck the rest of the Olympics. Yeah. Pretty much.
That was literally the only thing that was worth noting. And to everyone on Twitter, it was not satanic. Shut the fuck up. It was not satanic. It was creepy, especially with that weird-ass painting, but it was not satanic.
I was about to mention that. I love the fact that the kind of satanic pack is kind of coming back. I'm like, no, but I'm just like, yeah.
But anyways,
didn't you ask what was the song they played, boss? Because I know what song that
is. It was a French song, like a traditional French song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then funny enough, it was like after seeing that, I was like, you know what? I need to dive back into like early Gojira, like the first album, because I never really listened to it. Terra Incognita, I gotta say, is probably one of the most underrated debuts of all time. Like that album, so much Morbid Angel worship on there.
I need to get the rest of Gojira. I just have from Mars to Sirius.
You need them all. You need to get Terra Incognita,
everything.
Way of All Flesh, La Font Sauvage, Magma, and Fortitude.
God, Le Bon Sauvage, that album is a beast.
I need to get into more Gojira. It took me a little bit to get into that style, but I'm listening to songs. It was mainly songs off of Magma, like dude, fucking Stranded. Oh, that.
Yeah, that was the album when they kind of went a little more on the accessible side, but still them. Same with Fortitude, but like Terra Incognita would be like, at least as far as the like pure death metal sound. Like there's still death metal in there to this day, but pure death metal for the most part, Terra Incognita. So much Morbid Angel worship, yet there's some decapitated elements in there too. Like there's a riff on the song Lizard Skin that sounds almost exactly like Spheres of Madness. That dun 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 dun. Like it sounds almost exactly like Spheres of Madness, but some funny song titles like Satan is a Lawyer, which that's a weird song because it's like the verses sound like a grunge band, but the grooves feel like death metal. It's like Gojira could have been a pretty good grunge band if they wanted to. But there's some killer fucking songs and riffs on that album. And then I also even went back to their demo stuff when they were known as Godzilla. Some of the most nasty, underrated 90s death metal I'd ever heard. Like their Possessed demo, like the title track, that sounds like if you took Morbid Angel and Death and mixed them together.
And that's kind of weird, too, that you have a band that is named Gojira, and their lyrics are nothing about Godzilla, which is
their lyrics are just nothing but their lyrics are about death and the environment.
And they're not Japanese.
Yeah, they're French.
Yeah.
So
which is still crazy to think. I mean, let's be honest. When you think of French metal, Gojira is the only band you can think of.
The first one you'd think of.
Yeah, the first
one.
Like,
there's some other ones like Alcest and Loud Blast and other bands like that, but it's mainly Gojira is the first one you think.
Yeah, but in terms of like the biggest band to come out of France, it's Gojira. And
it is Gojira.
And Alcest, because they're like more notable.
Yeah.
But anyways, so, and then of course it's like this year, it's like we've been getting some like relief when it comes to like long awaited returns, like Triptychon's finally in the studio doing a new album. 10 and a half years. Baby.
2025.
Yeah. And it'll be the first one with Hannes Grossman on drums, which I'm curious to hear how he's going to be playing a more doomy style as opposed to the blasty, thrashy style he played in Necrophagist and Obscura.
That should be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I would say
finally we're getting new Triptychon.
This year's been kind of really good for thrash too. I mean, Morbid Saint, big year for Morbid Saint. They haven't.
Oh. I don't know. For me, I think this year's been the year of old school death metal and prog. For me, like prog's been really strong this year. Like even not the mainstream bands, but like underground ones, like Advocacy, Pia Mater, and then of course we got Opeth coming out. We'll probably get new Dream Theater before the end of the year because, according to Petrucci and Portnoy, they basically got almost everything recorded. They just got a mix. So I think maybe November at the
November.
Earliest. I think November will be when we get Dream Theater. Latest probably January.
Yeah.
Because you ain't gonna see them release it in December. That's just not
no. It's rare when a band releases an album in December, unless it's like a really big band, like Enslaved releasing an album in December a couple of years ago, around there.
What the fuck? I got kicked.
Who did you piss off?
I guess the thrash fans. I don't know. I'm talking about Morbid Saint. Come on, man. Which, by the way, shout out to their bassist. Their bassist liked my reviews, so that was cool. There you go.
But anyways, I was saying, I think more or less this year's been the year of old school sounding death metal and prog thus far. Like traditional prog, like not just, Opeth coming out with new stuff and maybe a new Dream Theater album this November because they're very close to finishing it. And also the first one with Portnoy in 15 years. But also like underground prog bands like Advocacy and Pia Mater, which is like Brazilian Opeth. And that was fantastic. In Vain, I need to get the new In Vain album because that's like beautiful progressive blackened death metal. Like almost like you took Opeth and Enslaved, mixed it together. With some sprinklings of In Mourning and Insomnium as well.
Speaking of like progressive black metal, new Borknagar. Oh,
yes, the new Borknagar. That's high up on my list. Right now, if you were to ask me what are my top 5 albums of the year right now, it would be the new Skeletal Remains, the new I need to go back on my list to figure out what all I've given high scores to.
Didn't you say you really like the Ulcerate album?
Ulcerate's probably my number 1 right now. But yeah, Skeletal Remains, Eternal Storm, In Vain, Dark Throne, and Ulcerate right now as far as like a top 5. Crypt Sermon would be up there pretty high too.
Yes.
Now, for me, top 5 as of right now.
Oh, and the new Laceration that came out last week. That was insane. And actually, I ordered that today off of $20 Spin as well as a bunch of other stuff.
It's not bad. For me, as of right now, if you ask me my top 5, Borknagar's and Paul Bearer, that Paul Bearer album is so good.
Dude, that tugs the heartstrings, man.
My Dying Bride, that new album is still fucking amazing. Rotting Christ, I really enjoy the new Rotting Christ.
I didn't listen to that one.
And it's a toss-up between the new Saxon or Lucifer, because those 2 albums are so fucking good.
Yeah, the new Lucifer is awesome, dude. Actually, I forgot also the new Paul Bearer.
Yes.
That's pretty high up there, too. Same with probably my favorite black metal album, the new Naxxon album.
I haven't really listened to too much black metal, which is kind of weird. For me, man, my top 5.
Oh, and new. I almost forgot. New Necrod would be pretty high.
Yes, the new Necrod.
Yes.
And 200 Stab Wounds.
This 200 Stab Wounds? This one?
Yeah, and the new Judas Priest, of course.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
This one with this guy? Yeah, this is my favorite album of the year.
Oh, yeah. Necrophobic, Necrowretch, Ishan, Borknagar, Spectral Voice. I need to get both of the Spectral Voice albums. And hell, we've not even scratched the surface yet when it comes down to what's coming up soon. As far as like what we got coming up, at least on my list.
Dude,
so far,
August is fucking stacked this month.
Well, after this week. After this week.
Yes, after this
like
week.
Next week, Oxygen Destroyer, Hammerfall.
Yes.
And Inophilion, which Inophilion you guys need to check out. It's essentially a side project of two of the members of Necrophobic, and it's strictly black metal. Ooh. And it sounds awesome. Like their debut was one of my favorites from 2 years ago. And then next week we have Extinction AD, Vile Rights, Dark Tranquility.
Yes.
And then the 23rd, which I think is probably going to be the big one, because you got Spectral Wound, King Crow, Simone Simon's solo band with Arjun from Arion joining her, Flesh God Apocalypse, and Nile. And
that new Nile.
Wait
dude,
for it.
Hang on, wait for it.
Wait for it. We have a random Nick running.
Hey!
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Hello there.
Just talking about the show I went to.
I mean, shows are generally a good experience. Club shows, again, those are kind of my favorite. I like them small scale.
Yeah.
You get to run into bands more.
Yeah, that's how I met Dallas from freaking Nile. I'm like, shit, man. I still fucking believe it.
Dude, Dallas is a solid dude.
Oh, yeah. We actually talked for a good hour just talking about Sabotage, man. He really loves Sabotage.
I know he's big on he and I talked about Transformers, like the animated series, like the OG one. And God, what else? Call of Duty, Recipes. He's just a down to earth, fun dude to talk to, and he lives actually not too far from us now.
Oh wow!
I believe he's up in Michigan now.
This is Dallas Toller Wade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
How would you describe Narcotic Wasteland? Like, is it similar to Nile, or is it completely different?
No.
I mean, it's still similar in some respects. Like, it is 100% Dallas's guitar work. Like, you'll hear stuff that, in terms of the style, kind of overlaps between that and, like, say, Annihilation of the Wicked. Like, it's very intricate, very thrashy. He's I mean, he's a big death metal fan, but I would say he's a bigger thrash fan. And that comes out in his riff playing.
Yeah, listen to the debut. I got both of them, actually.
Yep, I got both as well.
They've only released 2 albums, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just 2.
I didn't even know he plays drums too.
Huh.
Yeah, he's actually a really good drummer from what I saw. But yeah, Necrotic Wasteland is, I don't know, like there's definitely a thrashness to it, but it is like blasty as hell. Like exhausting levels of drum work.
Yeah.
And lyrically, they're way different.
Lyrically, the themes are
off the wall.
Dallas's themes are very
dark,
personal, and they're like negative reflections of society and humanity versus, talking about like ancient Egyptian gods and kings and such. It's very real lyrics.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that new Nile single. What was it? The track with New Secret Fang or something like that.
I've listened to both singles, and they're both awesome.
Short.
I haven't got a chance to check out the second single yet. What else? I mean, in terms of like new singles, of course, we jammed the new Opeth like multiple times.
I haven't jammed that yet.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's so awesome.
Good.
And then I checked the new Arch Enemy, and honestly, I wasn't disappointed by it. So that was a surprise.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, no, actually, it sounded like stuff that would have come out when Gasa was in the band.
Don't they have a new vocalist now?
They've had the same vocalist for like the last 4 or 5 albums. What's her name?
Alisa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which live she is so smoking hot.
I mean, I saw her when she was still in
Agonist.
Yeah, the Agonist. She's not very tall.
No.
And she had bright blue hair back then too.
Yeah. Oh man, I think she's so fucking beautiful. I mean,
and she is a legit talented singer too.
Oh, she's a great singer. She was doing
the only thing that I didn't like about Arch Enemy, and nothing against the band, is that they went on after Behemoth. I'm like, oh god, how are you gonna fucking,
follow Behemoth?
Behemoth, especially since
album
they
sales.
Little Father, especially since they played Little Father or Satan No Son to close their set. I was like, there's no way they're gonna top that up.
I think when it comes to Arch Enemy, I think it, like, the direction they're going in is not bad, but it's just not Arch Enemy to me personally. Like, the last few albums haven't really done anything.
The problem was that Michael didn't let Jeff Loomis write with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's mostly all Michael's writing. It's like Michael's a great writer, but Jeff could have added so much.
I mean, at least let him play like leads. I mean, I get it that it is Michael's baby. He is like the continuous writing force in that band. Yeah. But you poached a great lead guitarist and you had him play rhythm for entirely too many albums. It's like poaching a fucking like A1 fucking quarterback. Is like, no, you're gonna sit on the bench the entire time we have you. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
One Arch Enemy album, and it's Will to Power, which was signed by the band. I actually got it for like $25 when I saw them. Man,
bought.
Yeah, I need to get the rest of Arch Enemy. I need to get the classics.
The earlier stuff's. I mean, all right. I don't like Johan Leva's vocals. I'll be honest. Like, his vocals aren't that great.
Was Will like the early Angela stuff, like the first 3 Angela albums.
Doomsday Machine's awesome.
Yes.
I dig that album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wages of Sin.
Wages of Sin.
Wages of Sin's a banger.
Anthems of Rebellion.
That one's pretty good. That one's got some good songs on.
I think when I saw them, they closed with My Apocalypse. I think. I don't remember, but I think that was the closing song.
I don't know which one was one where there was the first one I detected like a falling off. God, which one was it?
Maybe
Rise of the
Tyrant.
Rise of the Tyrant or Chaos Legions. Yeah, both those albums were just kind of like, well, you made an album. Okay.
You guys feel inspired? No, good. Let's go to the studio.
Well, guess what? You're under contract.
Yeah. Speaking of singles, actually, I've been jamming some of them Oxygen Destroyers of singles. Oh my god, they are so good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going over that one next week. Well, that Fulton.
But yeah, we were going through like everything that I got listed that's coming out for the rest of the year so far. But yeah, 23rd this month looks pretty good. 30th this month is kind of stacked. Like you got Deceased, Ancients, Leprous, Nails, Winter Sun.
Winter Sun.
Wow, the long-awaited follow-up to Time.
Dude, all right,
Dude,
I when Meltdown did his thing about how essentially Winter Sun has scammed their fans. I kind of agree. I think they did, because they had all of these GoFundMe things essentially to fund this album for years, and then promised it'll be delivered then, and then when it came to that date overlapping, like, oh well, we need another GoFundMe. It's like, wait a minute, where'd the money go the first time we donated?
So it's basically Tool, but they're scammers, essentially. When it comes to
at least Tool. I mean, well, Tool's got money, but Tool will say like, yeah, we got lost on the way to the studio. We'll get back to you in a couple of years. Winter Sun has just been like, man, ran out of money. We got a flat tire, and we're gonna need about $10,000. They've crowdfunded this album multiple times, and I'm reasonably sure they've made more than enough money to make this album. Probably make this album like twice. So I don't know.
It's going to be so forgettable.
And then, well, I don't know, because I don't think Winter Sun has a bad album. Like, the first album, I think, is legit awesome for what that style was, that symphonic melodeath sound. And then from what I know, Time Part 1 was really good, and then the Four Seasons was solid, so I'm confident Time Part 2 will be at least passable.
I only have Time 1.
But September the 6th, we got God Dethroned, Winter Filleth, Oceans of Slumber already with a new album.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they just come out with a new one last year?
2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the 13th, Flotsam and Jetsam. Then the 27th, I already know my 3 reviews I'm doing that week. Ripped to Shreds, Bewitcher, Black Dahlia.
I did Black Dahlia. I did listen to that new song, Aftermath. Oh, it's kind of flashy.
That Black Dahlia album is gonna hit hard.
It's called Servitude. I mean, do you need to say anything else?
I don't know, that new Rip to Shreds song is absolutely fucking bestial. I love all their albums, honestly. They're all killer. That dude has found a way to, kind of blend death grind and HM2 death metal and still squeeze in like just awesome melodies and shit too. Like that dude's lead play is fantastic. And it seems like he's got like a really solid band behind him because that was a one-man show for a while.
Mm-hmm. And then October is looking stacked. The 4th, you got 1349. The one I'm looking forward to, Earthburner, the debut from Jeremy Wagner's long-awaited Death Grind project with Mike from Broken Oak and Devin from Sanguisugabog, with even guest vocals from Mitch Harris of Napalm Death.
Wow.
Too. So I'm looking forward to that. Nick, were you and John going to go to Heavy Hell this year?
Well, I don't know. I don't know anymore. It does. Right, when that goes on, that is right in this area where, I'm still trying to plan, because my niece and my youngest nephew, they have a birthday around that time, and I don't want to make any plans around that time. And I don't know if we're going to make it out to FTA either, just because funds are tight. Fucking MDF took a lot out of us. That sucks because it's the last year. But, there's still plenty of other shows out there, and honestly, this just gives me time to get my MDF 2025 ticket early.
Yeah.
Is that Overkill and King Diamond tour coming around, you guys?
I think I saw a Columbus date. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really checked all the dates. Again, I'm not like a huge King Diamond fan.
You got to go for Bobby, though. They do
for Overkill and Night Demon.
Yeah, but, I don't like paying like headliner prices for that when I can like wait for Overkill to do a tour at like some smaller venues and probably not pay as much, and plus stay for the whole thing because King's cool and all. I'm just not a fan of his
It's
voice.
An acquired taste.
It is.
Release the new album, please.
He will.
He will.
He will.
He might.
He's been cock teasing that shit for 5 years.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it, and I know I'll probably have Shred on for the review of that.
Right.
King Diamond is really stretching out the tool formula here.
Yep.
But then obviously the big one on October 4th is the new Blood Incantation, which that's going to be a journey of 2 20-plus minute songs.
Oh, well,
Oh, God.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I like that EP they put out, or single, whatever the hell they want to call it. I really wish they had put out a CD version. Yeah. But whatever. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious where they go with this one. Like, let's see if it gets maybe too pretentious. Because, like going back, like I love Hidden History of the Human Race. I think that's a really amazing album. But going back and listening to Star Spawn again a while ago, I was like, dude, I don't know. I might like this one a little bit better. I don't know. I'm a sucker for riffs. I like technical music and everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can get a little too pretentious, and that feels like the direction the Blood Incantation is heading. Is like, let's see how pretentious like they're gonna do like Yes's like Tales of Topographic Oceans, where every song's like fucking 20 minutes. Is like, dude, you crammed too much of everything in these songs.
Now you're kind of overbearing your audience a little bit.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, writing that material is tough because that takes up a giant chunk of your set. If you're going to tour on it, naturally people are going to want to hear the new material live.
Oh yeah. When I saw Blood Incantation, they played the living crap. I forget the fucking name of the song. They played the crap out of the Awakening, the entire song.
Oh yeah,
and that fucker is long.
18 minutes and some change. Yeah. That was what they closed with.
Yeah,
actually both times the song.
Yeah, they closed with that when I saw them with Cannibal.
As we saw them with Primitive Man, and then we saw them in MDF in 2022, and both times they closed with that song. But I don't know, like I said, when you start writing songs that long, you take out most of your set, and people are going to want to hear stuff in your past set, like your earlier works, because I still want to hear Starspawn stuff. And that first EP too. Fuck. Hold on here. What the hell's the name of it?
Interdimensional Extinction.
Yeah, there we go. I want to hear stuff from that too, because that's an awesome EP.
It kind of gives off a bit of an Iron Maiden vibe. Like, okay, the long songs are cool, but you don't need to go too much with it. We kind of like the stuff from the past. Let's not.
My thing with Iron Maiden
long songs for the sake of it.
My thing with Iron Maiden songs, at least the long songs here lately, is they don't need to be that long. Like they are drawing them out to the point of like, dude, get on with it.
I am trying to remember when I saw Maiden, what was the longest song they played? I think it was The Sign of the Cross or Hallowed. I think they were like the two longest songs. 2019, Legacy of the Beast.
Okay.
Sign of the Cross was like 11 minutes.
I think that was the.
Didn't they play Rime of the Ancient Mariner on that tour?
I don't remember.
If it was Rime of the Ancient Mariner, that would have been a longer.
That would have been the one, yeah.
I don't think they played Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
A little over 11, like over 11.
Let me check. Let me check that for you.
But
I mean, I hope they play it this time. I would love to see them play Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Nah, I don't know. At the age that they
actually,
are,
no.
I just don't know.
For the Greater Good of God, that was the longest song. For the Greater Good of God.
Which that is a legit brilliant song off of Matter of Life and Death.
Yeah, that was the longest song they played because they didn't play Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which I'm shocked now that I'm really looking back at the set list.
When I saw Priest back in May, I think the longest track they played, I believe, was Invincible Shield or Beyond the Realms of Death. I can't remember which one was longer.
But yeah, as far as the new Blood Incantation, I'm all for them doing the 20+ minute songs because I'm curious to hear them explore more into prog, kind of like what they did on that the Liquidy of the Ecliptic track off of that maxi single last year.
Oh, you know they got their moves on standby.
Yeah, which when done right, I love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing like what all influences are going to pull on those two songs. But then of course new Opeth October 11th, and we were talking probably going to get a new Dream Theater album probably November, since according to Petrucci and Portnoy, pretty much almost everything's recorded. They just got to mix it. So I think we'll probably get it in November, which I am going to go out on a limb and say it's going to be the best Dream Theater album since Black Clouds and Silver Linings, because Portnoy's going to have an integral part of the writing.
I'm going to make no predictions on that because James LaBrie's still on it.
Yeah.
Hey, I love James LaBrie. I don't care.
I thought he was a good singer.
Swallow of Suns released an album.
Yep.
Now, if I were to guess, okay, the last time they released an album, it was Moonflowers. That was in November. If I were to guess, probably around the same time. Maybe the earliest I see them is in October. Latest, late November. That's it. I don't see them releasing in December.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no one wants to release in December. That's kind of a dead month. That's generally where we're already working on year-end lists and then lining
unless
up.
Unless you're enslaved. They released an album like back in December a couple of years ago.
Or no, I think that was an EP.
Yeah, it was the EP. That was the one that was like essentially the teaser of the next one to come.
I thought it was
Vagabonds, the Outer World, or something like that, or
Outer Planets to Caravans or some shit like
that.
Outer Caravans, whatever the fuck.
It ended up on it ended up on the last one, so it was. I mean, good song. I think the rest of the album, God, that album's so good.
And I'm gonna say this right now, but the new Swallow the Song album, this album, it's gonna be different in a good way. I don't see it being that dark because the past two albums, they've been super dark.
Well, it's Swallow the Sun. They're always dark.
Well, in a way, because when A Shadow was about Aaliyah,
Moonflowers was about COVID.
The pandemic. Yeah. So this one, Juha seems a bit happier to some certain extent, but still having the aggression.
The heavy riffing.
It's upbeat, but still heavy.
From the first single they released, Innocence Was Long Forgotten. That was completely sort of got me back to something from New Moon, which is still good. No growls, which I don't mind. But I'm like, the auto-tune kind of threw me off a bit in parts of the song. But it's still Swallow the Sun. It's kind of like how Martin from Celtic Frost once said, there are many shades of gray, some darker than others.
Or many different shades and colors to darkness than just black.
Exactly. Yeah. It's still Swallow the Sun, no matter what. But I'm like, this is gonna be fucking good for me.
But anyways, so since Nick's here, I can go ahead and tell him about everything at the show Wednesday night. So left here at about noon. The road getting to that venue was horrible.
Wait, was in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So I took 52 all the way up, and past Aberdeen, it was horrifically bad with the roads. I thought my dad was about to freaking have a panic attack because his truck. He thinks his truck's gonna tear apart on them roads. Nah, that truck is fucking old. It's been through way worse. But that's just how he is. So we get to the venue. Well, we had to drive through pretty much the ghetto area of Cincinnati, which was kind of funny. But once we got there, it was pretty much a nice area of the city, outside the city. So I went in, did the meet and greet at a little after 3, met Exciter, which I will go ahead and show some pics. Bless you.
Thank you.
If I can get the screen share to fucking work. Here we are. So there's me and Daniel DK, my dude, my dog, my diggity doink, as we call each other. And then me and Dan Beeler, the drummer and vocalist. And then Alan Johnson, the bassist. And then me with the band. And actually, funny enough, in that background here, where the bathrooms are, those are all celebrity mugshots.
Oh, nice.
And we saw one of Nicolas Cage, and he looked like fucking shit. It was fucking funny as hell. But, those were the pics I took with Exciter, and then I got to watch their sound check. Super cool. And then I went in and I got merch from Exciter because I got early access to merch. So I got this signed poster, which I'm going to get framed eventually. And then this really cool sticker that I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. And then this was pretty cool. A reprint of an old tour flyer of Exciter and Megadeth from like 85, I think. So that was pretty sweet. And then I got this Exciter patch that will eventually go onto my vest. And then I also got this. The only Midnight merch I got was this patch because they didn't have any shirts my size.
Was that
made me
royalty?
sad. I believe so. Yeah, looks like it.
I fucking love Midnight. Those shit's great.
Yeah. And then as far as like shirt merch, I had an Exciter shirt and a Wraith shirt, which I already showed you, Nick. And then got the new Wraith. I got 2 Exciter albums, Long Live the Loud and Unveiling the Wicked, signed. And then the band Hellwitch, I got the new one, Annihilational Intercension, and their debut album, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce again because I can't pronounce it worth a damn. But Nick, what's funny, I paid $12 for this. On Discogs, it goes for like $100 because it's so
it's crazy.
So rare.
And Discogs is the Wild West. Like I legit got this in the mail today. You ever heard of Barn?
Nope.
Independent technical death metal band from Idaho. Very, very young kids. I got this at their price, which was, normal CD price. I want to say like $15, shipping, whatever. Go to enter it in on Discogs. There's only one copy for sale on there going for about $150. I was like, are you kidding me? And I'm actually not going to cover the shipping from Slovakia.
No.
Or Slovenia. It's one of the two.
Yeah, it's kind of like this album. Headless Cross. Since it got
I only got $12 online myself, and it only cost me $12 to get sent to Nick when I got it for him.
I mean, this one cost me like $15, which was okay, but on Discogs, like going for like 50, 60. I'm like, with the reissue, should have gone like lower.
There's no regulation there. Like they just say, hey, whatever price you want to post, and we don't even care if it's unreasonable. Like 40,000 doll heads, fine, that's cool, do it.
Yeah. I mean, hell, the record store that I go to get the CDs that I have, hell, some of the prices are fucking ridiculous. Like it costs nearly $30 to get like Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies. I'm like, why? And like it was like the same thing for like Typo Negative's My Life Is Killing Me. I'm like okay, the newer stuff, like the newer albums that they would get, like the new Pallbearer that I got, like the new Gatecreeper, okay, $15-$16, okay, fine. But for stuff that's old, kind of stretching it.
They're based on rarity, and they're also they're based on Discogs, which is a terrible thing to do because you're not pricing shit to buy. You're pricing shit to sell it. You're just hoping that people are willing to pay that much. Like there's stuff like the stuff that I bought down in Florida that it was priced a little bit more, but if I went on Discogs, like okay, they like kind of cut that in half and they still sold it because they knew it was still rare. Again,
it depends if there's a show on that day. Because when I went to see Saxon Uriah Heep, I went to a record shop. It was like 5 minutes away from my hotel. I was just hanging out there, and I was like, "Oh, let me check if they have any Saxon." And they didn't because they ran out of Saxon. And I asked one of the guys who worked there, "Is like, man, you really guys ran out of Saxon?" Like, yeah, because we were selling them for like $25, $30 at most. And I'm like, man, you guys really overpriced. I'm like, it's the owner. So I'm like, okay.
For CDs?
Yep.
Jesus.
That sounds more like vinyl prices.
Vinyl prices like what, 35 right now?
Yeah.
40 tops.
Yeah.
But it all depends on Discogs, because I'm like this one, this Embalmment, which I know you love, but you've been wanting this for a long time.
I've been looking for that too.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I think it's going for like 60 to 70, which I'm like, It shouldn't be that much.
I mean, I figured
then again, it's not been reprinted.
Yeah. I figured Relapse repressed it.
It all depends. It all depends.
Yeah. But anyway, so then after doing the sound check and I got the Exciter CD signed, I went over to the casino 30 minutes away just to hang out for a little bit until the show started. Went in and Hellwitch was already playing, which they put on a killer set, probably the fastest band of the whole show because they're playing like hybrid of thrash and tech death, more thrash than anything. It was kind of like Revocation a little bit. So I kind of like Revocation before Revocation. And then after Hellwitch played, a guy came up to me. He said his name was Ben, and he is the head honcho of his own thrash band from Cincinnati called Acid Mass. Shitty picture of me and him. And Acid Mass, very, very good band. 2 albums, very much like Midnight, Hellripper, Slayer, Wraith, old Metallica, Testament, all wrapped up. And actually, whenever he recognized me because I reviewed his first album last year, less than a year ago, and was very gracious. And so he gave me both Acid Mass albums, Agonizer, the debut, and the new one that came out today, Worship, which my review will be coming tomorrow for this. One of only 2 reviews I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah, it was so slow. We just were like, you know what? Let's take a break and let's do some fun videos.
Yeah. But yeah, after meeting up with Ben from Acid Mass, and then I was just kind of hanging about and went and got the Wraith merch, the CD, and the shirt that I got. And then I got to talk with Pat from Hellwitch, the frontman and guitarist. And I was like, hey, nice to meet you, Pat. By the way, I'm actually friends with your wife, Pixie, because we used to play Dead by Daylight together on Twitch. And he's like, oh, yeah, I remember she telling me about you. And this was the big, like, revelation of the night. So despite Hellwitch being one of, like, the early extreme metal bands from the whole Florida scene, like death metal, thrash, he said that, like, he's not so much into, like, Cannibal Corpse and Cryptopsy and those kind of bands. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, you are playing in a kind of an early death metal band. But I guess it is what it is. His wife, I guess, just has more extreme tastes. But
she does.
Yeah, she does. And can rip your face off on bass, too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he was super, super cool. And then Wraith comes on stage and they fucking tore it up. And I was 10 feet away from the pit and I was so tempted to go in there. But I'm like, well, shit, I got these CDs in my vest pockets. That way I didn't have to hold them the whole time. I don't want them breaking. I don't want them broken. So I'm going to stay away. But the next time I go to a club show and I see a pit and I don't have merch in my pockets, I'll go in. I'll be brave.
I mean, just remember, you'll be in a strange town and you have to go to a strange hospital if you get hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Wraith played a killer set, played a few things from the new album, like Heathen's Touch, which was probably one of the highlights.
Those dudes are
awesome. Yeah, and what's funny, after Wraith played and then Midnight come up on stage, I was hanging out with Ben from Acid Mass, and I didn't know it, but then after the show was over, I was thinking, oh yeah, the guys from Wraith were literally standing with me, but I didn't recognize them until I saw the frontman walk right past me in the crowd. And actually, DK walked past me during Wraith's set, but then Midnight come up on stage and starting off, bells tolling, lights on and off, and then they put on the best show of the night. And actually, I forgot to mention this too, but after the meet and greet with Exciter, and I was waiting outside for my ride, talking with another guy that was at the VIP, this van pulls up to the front door carrying merch, and it was Jamie Afinar without the costume. And I was like, hey, nice to meet you. And he's like, yeah, nice to meet you too. We didn't get to talk very much. It was just like, cool. But then after Midnight finished playing, which they closed with Unholy and Rotten, which, oh, yes. So after they played, Athanar jumped off the stage and he went outside to the side door patio. And then probably my favorite photo of the whole time was me and Athanar. With my friend Jesse from Instagram photobombing my ass. Which I thought was actually pretty funny. She messaged me after she saw it. She said, "Oh man, I feel bad." Don't feel bad. It was hilarious, and I know how much she loves Midnight too. But then after Midnight played, I went back up to talk to Pat because he was basically out by the merch table in the crowd pretty much the entire show, and here we are. I sent the pic to his wife, and I haven't heard back from her yet. So, but then after finally getting a drink of water because it was roasting hot in there, like it was like 90 plus inside, no AC, just ceiling fans and fans they had set up around.
Well, you had ceiling fans.
I was endlessly sweating in there, and I'm like, I needed some water, so I drank out of the water fountain because I wasn't going to buy water. But man, Nick, if only you could have been at that show, you could have gotten yourself 10 beers for $20, $2 beers.
Not if I was driving, but
yeah. But yeah, they had $2 beers.
I mean, after a while, you just get used to the hot shows. Like Frankie's here in Toledo is like a fucking oven during the summer, God, man, that one we went out to in the middle of nowhere with in Kent for Aborted, Archaic, Distant Tomb. God, who else was on that bill? Whole bunch of bands. Yeah, dude, it was like baseline 102, 103 in there. No fans, no AC, just hell.
Mm-hmm.
And damn balls.
That's like Woodstock 99.
but yeah, and then after Midnight played and all that extra stuff going on, and then Exciter come up on stage and they played a hell of a set. DK especially shredding it up on guitars during that solo on Pounding Metal. That was pretty fucking killer. I ended up leaving the show like maybe with like a song or two left in their set, mostly because I was so roasting in there. Like, there was at one point about 10 feet behind me, there was a guy laying on the floor exhausted from the heat. Like, it looked like he had about to have a heat stroke. So, but for the most part, like all the people I randomly met in there were really cool. And of course, seeing the bands and the crowd was awesome. Yeah, just overall awesome time. Got out of there at 10 o'clock, got home 2 hours later at midnight, and that's that. So by far, in terms of consistency, best show I've been to thus far. Yeah, and Midnight would probably be neck and neck with Gojira and Mastodon for my favorite set I've seen so far.
Midnight always brings it. Those dudes, again, they're just fun. They're about the party. About the party and the sleaze.
When I saw Sabaton with Priest back in May, Sabaton brought it. Like, that crowd was up and at him. The front man was fucking hilarious. Like, they brought in like he brought in like a pink guitar that was like a Hello Kitty guitar. He was like, "What the fuck is this? After this, you're fired." And he was like, "We're from Sweden, also for you people known as IKEA land."
IKEA land.
And I will say they're
I mean, where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Wrong.
I mean, the set was pretty cool because like the drummer, like his whole drum kit was like a big fucking tank, which was awesome. I thought that was cool. I'm not a fan of them. Like, I'm not a big fan of Sabaton.
I like songs, or as far as albums, like their early stuff is pretty damn good.
I was talking to this one guy. He was like, if they don't play Ghost Division at the beginning of the set, they ain't doing it right. Lobo, they did. I mean, the crowd was into it. And then when Priest came on, people were up for it, but they weren't as energetic. So,
yeah.
Oh, that's old fan base. Like, yeah, hold on my back.
Arthritis.
That's my favorite album. What?
Yeah, sure. You know he's crazy.
Absolutely.
No,
sure, you can buy me a beer.
Dude, even at his age, he still fucking brings it. Like, that dude, like, yeah, his voice is, like, very subdued, but when, dude, he hits some fucking highs, you better stay back, because, ooh.
I am still pissed off that I could never, ever seen Peace when they came to my town back in 2014. I'm still pissed off about that.
I'm still upset I didn't get to see Maiden on my birthday 5 years ago. I almost got to go, but they didn't have any like tickets to where you could see the stage.
Yeah, no, those were fucking expensive.
I had a chance to go see Frozen Soul, but I got fucked over because I had to take care of my aunt's dog.
Well, I mean, they're going on tour again with Gatecreeper.
Yes, they're going to be touring near me, and I plan on going in, what is it, October?
Around there? October, November?
I didn't see what the dates were. I haven't had a chance to check, actually.
And you know, the biggest fucking cock tease of my life, as far as like tour dates, announcements.
Oh God, don't get me started on
Ricky, let me finish my thought before you think nasty shit. Jesus Christ. But yeah, the biggest tease was Opeth playing here in the States. No Cincinnati or Columbus State. It's like, damn it! If you had a Cincinnati or Columbus State, I would have bought a ticket immediately because I want to see Opeth live someday.
They're amazing live.
I really want to. Yeah.
This next song.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year if they do another North American tour.
They probably will.
I mean, they are going to do a European run at the beginning of next year, so.
Yeah, so probably around the summertime.
Or the fall at the latest.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as we were talking about like shows I wish I could go to. Like, I would love to go to I think I saw that Dying Fetus Black Dahlia tour.
Ooh, I haven't
was
seen
coming
that
to Cincinnati, but don't remember the date.
I think Dying Fetus was playing around my area back in March, but I didn't even think about it because I was busy with work. Like,
the Dying Fetus Black Dahlia tour. They're playing in Cincinnati November 8th. I will be away on vacation for that, so it's like, son of a bitch. I would have loved to have gone to that one at Bogart's because that's like the big club in Cincinnati that like everybody plays.
Aren't Possessed and Created with Testament coming in October around your area too?
Coming to suburb of Dayton.
I thought you said you were going to go see them.
I was tempted to, but it doesn't look likely now, which is unfortunate.
Oh, that's
dude, I swear if I can meet
I think from now on, if I'm going to shows, it's going to be in the Cincinnati area because now I'm starting to get familiar with that area.
Yeah.
As far as venues like the Pavilion across the river at Newport, Riverbend, even though Legends is no more, if it was still going, know how to get the Legends. So really, 2 venues left in Cincinnati I've yet to go to. The Andrew J. Brady Music Center, which is like outdoor and indoor, and Bogart's, which is like the big club in the Cincinnati area that like most of the bigger bands play.
It's kind of like with me with San Antonio. I've only been to shows in San Antonio and my hometown, but with Till Lindeman's show, it's going to be at a different venue, which I've never been to. So, I mean, which I don't mind. I just want to expand to maybe Austin and Houston. That's like my next areas I want to go to a show. I mean, Hell's Hero next year, which I'm still debating if I'm going to buy a ticket.
You need to, damn it. As soon as they go on sale, buy it. Just to go, at least to see Hellripper play the stage for the first time ever.
Which I'm thinking, if he's coming to Houston, potentially a tour with it. Maybe
2026. Maybe if we get a new Hellripper album in 2026, maybe
I mean,
we'll
I think
finally
it's
get
time. I
into
mean, I think it will be like late 2025, 2026. We'll get a new Ripper album, maybe around there. Unless James somehow has like time to like record everything and like release it next year.
I mean, hell, I forgot to mention too that this new Acid Mass album, James guest appears on a song.
Really?
On here. Yeah, and also Matt, the frontman of Wraith, guest appears on it too.
Oh. What are the odds?
Yeah. And actually, the track that James guest appears on is an instrumental, and he's doing like shredding solos on it, and they sound killer. So yeah, I mean, after all, Acid Mass has a little bit of a Hellripper vibe at times, with like some of the more classic metal lenient riffs that come up in there. But I'm still waiting for that Pantera tribute tour to come to Cincinnati or Columbus, and I will definitely buy a ticket for that because I want to see that. I want to see that so bad. The fact they haven't done a Cincinnati or Columbus date yet is kind of shocking, but yeah.
Same.
I'm waiting for that new Anthrax album.
Probably.
I don't even know if that's going to even happen now, considering Frankie's playing live in Satyricon right now.
Probably
he's playing in Satyricon?
And Scott Ian. Yeah, he's the live bassist for Satyricon right now.
Say what?
Frankie Bello from Anthrax is playing live bass in the black metal band Satyricon right now.
What? Huh?
So probably next year. Probably early next year.
Wake up or I'll throw dirt on you.
Want a shot of whiskey? A Bloody Mary?
No.
Let me remind Austin never do Steve Austin ever again.
By the way, Steve Austin on Instagram is fucking awesome. Oh my god, he's great.
But anyways, so
bar of soap, you put some water on it, you just start to roll it against your body.
That was when he did the roast of Zakk Wylde years ago. That was funny. A lot of people tend to misinterpret that as him roasting CM Punk. No, that was from a Zakk Wylde roast. When he wasn't there, he just recorded a roast on him. And he goes, I'd love to shoot the shit with the camera, but the truth is, I gotta go take a big hairy dump. Fuck you, Viking, and hi, Barbara Ann, I love you. When
God damn it, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? I just got a comment on my latest video, that 10 one and done album. Relapse, Repress, Transcendence into the Peripheral last year. It's at a totally reasonable price on Discogs right now. That's probably the vinyl, though, not the CD.
Yep. Because I was checking it right now. The vinyl got repressed, not the CD.
Yeah, the CD is hard to get. It's like I've been looking all over the place to see if I can get a CD copy of that.
I don't even remember how I actually found it. I think it was... I'm trying to remember.
I don't know when the New Testament album's coming out. I saw on Wikipedia. Well, I mean, you've noticed a trend ever since Testament's return. They release an album every election year.
Yeah,
probably not going to happen this year. Maybe 2025, but
it just depends on like touring and all that stuff, especially with this big tour of Possessed and Creator.
Possessed and Creator,
which I wouldn't be surprised if they played new songs.
They probably got new material.
Maybe one new song.
Yeah, 1 to 2 songs.
Which the only thing I wish that could have happened with this New Testament album, I'm sure their new drummer currently is killer, but part of me wished Dave Lombardo could have stuck around a little longer to do another album.
Oh,
because then that would have been like the ultimate supergroup. You know, Chuck, Eric, Alex, Steve, and Dave. And Steve and Dave doing an album again together because they were both on The Gathering.
Mm-hmm. I thought Steve left.
No, he's still there.
Oh well,
he left
Sadis.
Steve left Sadis.
Oh,
he's been in Testament since 2013, 2014.
So good 10 years.
Back in the band. Yeah, back in the band. Of course, he was in there from like 98 through 2000.
Something like that. Well, I mean, he's the Fretless Wonder. I mean,
one of the top 5 greatest bass players of all time in metal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every band he's in, it's like a super group. I mean, look at Death, for Christ's sake.
Death. He was in Sowen. He was in Sadis, in Testament, Hard Walls of the Damned. He even played in Sebastian Bach for a little bit. Even played for Wintersorg.
It's crazy.
You don't know who
That wasn't a Steve. That was a quack. Okay.
Boss, I've got to teach you the ways, the wonders of the legend himself, Wintersorg. One of my favorite Swedish vocalists. Has his own solo band, which is like blackened folk metal, where he sings in Swedish. But he was the main frontman of Borknagar from 2002 through 2018.
I know who Wintersorg is. I just haven't listened to his albums.
He's an awesome singer. He reminds me of like a young James Hetfield in his clean vocals, but he's got some of the best black metal vocals and melodic death metal vocals.
I've been watching some retrospectives. There's some black metal bands I feel like I need to check out, like Impaled Nazarene.
The crazy Finnish sound.
Yeah, I need to check out more Marduk, dude. I need to check out more Marduk. I feel like I'm missing out on good shit.
I completely forgot about this D-side being on tour also. I was like, shit, I pull that one too.
I kind of want to go there just for the set. What's the set going to be?
To see what D-side would be playing.
Let's see here. Probably something from this album. I mean,
no. I'm not talking about like the playlist, like the stage setting.
I know
it'd probably just be a standard set.
Yeah.
They don't do any like elaborate stage sets at all. They're not like Behemoth.
Oh yeah.
Again, with that new album, I love the album, but
album
cover that pissed me off. The album cover on the back of it looks fucking awesome.
But the AI front cover, fuck off. Anyways, moving on. Let's not dwell on anymore. But you notice that label, Reigning Phoenix Music, has kind of popped up out of nowhere this year. Like Deicide, Kerry King, the new Opeth album is on that label. Meshuggah's on that label. Sebastian Bach is on that label.
It's like,
which is funny. Well, it's funny because it originally started as a subsidiary of Atomic Fire Records, which was a label that was created a couple of years ago by the original owner of Nuclear Blast. So he left Nuclear Blast and then decided to create his own label, Atomic Fire, and initially had Amorphous, Opeth, Meshuggah, God Dethroned, Stradivarius, among many others. Now it's kind of splintered into a family of labels: Atomic Fire, Reigning Phoenix Music, and Fire Flash Records. So then you also got bands like Mesro and Mystic Circle and a Udo Darkschneider's solo band, all under this umbrella. But now it's like Reigning Phoenix Music is now kind of overtaken Atomic Fire as far as the hierarchy. So it goes like Reigning Phoenix, Atomic Fire, Fire Flash.
A lot of fire going on here. Let's hope no one's committing arson.
Yeah. And
so far, I only have one album that was on the Atomic Fire label, and that was the last Amorphous album. So, and now Amorphous, I think, is on 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, Amorphous came out now 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, Halo came out in 2022, and it was pretty high up on my year-end list. But then again, Amorphous, in my opinion, is one of those bands that can do no wrong, no matter what style they do, whether it's death doom, mellow death, prog, folk, or classic metal.
Kind of like Catatonia.
To an extent, but maybe a tad bit heavier.
Yeah.
I mean, that song, Above Stars, with Anik, formerly of The Gathering, that is like such a radio hit, but it's still good. And that was 6 years ago when that song came out.
Man, The Gathering. What's the funny thing is, I guess the only thing I really know from The Gathering is that their, I think, lead vocalist, Eric Von, what was her name?
Anik Von Giz.
Anik, thank you.
That's who I just talked about that did guest vocals with Amorphous.
Yeah,
and always does stuff with Devin Townsend and a few other people.
She collaborated with Napalm Death, which is so bizarre.
For 2 songs, yeah.
Smear campaign.
Yep. Which, speaking of Napalm, I've been debating on what bands to rank for next year. The 2 I am definitely going to do, Bloodbath and Nile. I have been wanting to do those bands forever, but they always lose out on polls. I'm like, I'm putting my foot down. I'm going to do those bands next year, especially in the case of Nile with the new album coming out. So that will be included. And then, of course, Bloodbath, because who doesn't love Bloodbath? But the other 4 bands I've been debating on, all the bands that are in the totem pole right now, Overkill, Creator, Ulcerate, Broken Hope, Shooter, and a few other, Napalm, they're all in the totem pole to get ranked. But
yeah, I'll have to.
But eventually, this coming Thursday, I'm going to make the announcement on what all bands. I'm actually going to do a big announcements video because Thursday is also my birthday. Dirty 30. Oh, how much I'm going to hate you, but here I come.
Who are you ranking next again? Are you ranking King Diamond or Merciful Fate?
No, I'm ranking Dream Theater next.
Oh, Dream Theater, that's
coming
right.
out. That ranking's coming out in a few weeks. I still got 5 albums left to listen to. The last 5. Then Halloween. I'm doing Merciful Fate, and then around Christmas, I'm doing Immortal.
Oh, dude, Immortal is so good.
So yeah, that's.
I've been jamming more of the thrash, like the black and
thrash death kind of vibe, like At the Heart of Winter through Sons of Northern Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the case of here in Ohio, the Sons of Midwestern Darkness.
Darkness.
That name will forever stick. Forever stick.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, Napalm will be a fun ranking. Nile's going to be a fun ranking for you, Levi. That was such a fun ride for me. I like to rank Cannibal at one point. There's 2 bands I'm going to be ranking next. Immolation and Celtic Frost. Celtic Frost is going to be a shorter one because, spoiler, I don't do EPs or demos. So
I don't do EPs either, yeah.
I'm not going to...
Well, it depends on the band.
Yeah, like Morbid Tales, that's...
You have to include the EPs for Celtic Frost.
Yeah, I'm not including them. Sorry.
You're not going to include Morbid Tales and Emperor's Return?
Yeah. No.
You have to include them. They're basically, you combine them both. That's essentially the first album.
I got to play the rules. But,
oh, man.
And no, I am not doing the prototype demo either. Fuck that.
No, don't. Don't suffer through that one. But you will have to suffer through Shit Lake.
I've listened to it before.
Part of me wants to buy. Well, part of me wants to get that album, but only if it's dirt cheap. Just so I could say, well, at least I got everything Celtic Frost. But is it?
No. That's why I am not a completionist. Depending on the band. If it's a band I really love, I'll get everything. But Metallica. I'm not getting Saint Anger, and I'm not getting
Saint Anger.
I have Saint Anger too. It was a Christmas gift.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of other bands.
And before anyone asks, Lulu doesn't count as a Metallica album.
I'm not counting.
That's a collab album, mostly Lou Reed.
I might do Dark Throne, but they have like 400 fucking albums, so that's
21. 21 you'd have to sit through.
Oh God!
I'm saying this right here, right now. The Unholy Trilogy is some of the best black metal of all time, to me personally. So,
well, Blazing
at least a Blazing Northern Sky.
Blazing Northern Sky is great. Favorite album. Well, I'm not a fan of the other two. I would take Panzerfaust or Soulside Journey or Ravishing Grimness over those.
With Dark Throne, from the second album to the fifth album, that Unholy Pentology is kind of good, and then the rest is kind of downhill. Some sort.
I like the riff worship era they're in right now. It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought their last album was all right. I'm just not a big fan of Fenris's vocals. It feels out of place to me personally.
Well, I mean, it's
mostly
Nocturno's doing vocals.
Oh, well, Nocturno?
Yeah, Fenris only primarily does like the cleanish vocals every once in a while. Nocturno is the one that's doing like the Tom G. Warrior type.
Yeah, the greenness.
Oh, okay. All right. I might have to listen to It Beckons Us All again, but I gave it a solid enough ranking.
That's among my 5 favorites this year is that new Dark Throne.
That could be on there.
I love the atmosphere. It's so Celtic Frost. So.
I mean, dude, they've been hard on the Celtic Frost worship, I would say. I mean, well, Panzerfaust, I mean that one, but in terms of a run of albums, like I would say like almost like Arctic Thunder on has all been very, very frosty.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Underground Resistance, like Leave No Cross Unturned, that had a lot of Celtic Frost on there too.
That's one of my favorite songs by Dark Throne. I love that.
It was like if Celtic Frost and Agent Steel fucked. That's what that song is.
Maybe not fucked because no one wants that imagery. But got together and jammed? Sure. You know, there wasn't anything
the high speed energy. Yeah, the high speed energy and high vocals of Agent Steel with the grooves and the riffage of Celtic Frost.
So who will be on top? Celtic Frost or Angel? Who will be on top? That's the main question.
Why did I have to use that analogy now?
Damn it, Ricky. We were doing so well.
Were we?
No, we weren't.
Were we ever doing well in the first place, boss? That's the bigger question I have.
Hey, sometimes false hope is better than no hope.
Debatable.
That depends on who you ask.
That's true.
Oh, dear Lord.
But yeah, fuck. I might rank Overkill one day. That's going to be a bitch.
I know a friend of mine on Instagram has been begging me to rank Overkill, and it's like, I will get there at some point. It's probably going to happen next year.
I mean, fuck, I ranked Motorhead, and I nearly cried because I'm just like...
20 albums? 22? 21?
20 for Overkill.
God.
20's for Overkill. Fuck, I might have to rank Saxon one day. That's going to be a pain in the balls, because they have...
God.
223.
I think there were 24.
I'm not counting their inspirations on because that was just a cover.
God, Hellfire Damnation. That album fucking kicked my ass when I saw Saxon live. So fucking good.
Oh yeah, and then another band I actually forgot that's kind of been in the hunt for maybe getting a ranking in the future would be Motorhead for me. And that would be a pain in the ass too.
Have fun with that one. Shockingly, Ace of Spades was not my number one. Even though I will agree it is the best Motorhead album. But it's not my personal favorite.
If I had to pick number one, I'd probably go with Overkill over
Overkill's
Ace of Spades.
I don't know.
My number one.
There were albums after the 2000 or during the 2000s were pretty fucking slaying.
I really like Sacrifice. Sacrifice might be high up on my list.
Sacrifice.
I think if you ask me the most underrated, Another Perfect Day.
Another Perfect Day. Yep.
That is so good. The one album with former Thin Lizzy guitarist Brian Robertson.
It's where they basically went prog too, in a way.
I don't even know what would be my number one Motorhead album. I really like.
Well, there's a lot.
Believe it or not, I really like Iron Fist, but then again, Ace of Spades is a classic.
Yeah.
Iron Fist is
Hell, Chase is Better Than the Catch is my favorite Motorhead song of all time.
1916.
That's a really good album.
That's a very good ballad.
Yeah. Killed by Death. I love that song.
Killed by Death.
You can stretch.
What's the rare times that Lemmy did high vocals too?
Yeah. Not often you heard Lemmy do high notes. Like, I could only count, like, a few songs like Chase Better Than the Catch, The Claw.
The Claw!
Yeah. Gojira's been a band that's been kind of on my radar to do a ranking for next year.
Gojira.
They almost got a ranking this year, but they got beat out by Dream Theater.
Well, Gojira's been on everyone's radar here lately.
I think with this, they're getting ready for a new album.
I mean,
about that time.
More than likely, but
probably next year.
I mean, that performance was absolutely fucking awesome.
Oh God, yeah.
And then I was just saying how I went back and re-listened to Terra Incognita, and then finally checked out the Godzilla stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
wow.
They need to reissue those Godzilla demos.
Yeah, and maybe reissue it into like one double disc compilation.
Yep.
Or
that would be the best.
Pre-order.
Yeah, I'd pre-order that too, especially for the Possessed demo. Because that title track on that Possessed demo was like if you took Morbid Angel and Death and mixed them together.
I mean, they've made no secret about their love of Morbid Angel. I mean, you can hear it all the way up to, I would say, like, I mean, from Mars to Sirius, like, there's Morbid Angel.
And it's still there intermittently, too.
Yeah.
It's not as prevalent as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I might do Mastodon one day because I have a couple of their albums. I got the latest one, Hush and Graham, but I haven't really fully checked out like a full track of it.
I love that album.
That's such a great album.
Yeah.
Then again, Mastodon's one of them bands that's easy to say no bad albums. In fact, they're all damn good to
even The Hunter is still good. I don't care what people say, The Hunter's still good.
love The Hunter.
That one
even
just
Once More Around the Sun, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Once More Around the Sun, that was my least favorite, but The Hunter,
but still good.
I like that album too, but it follows like Crack the Sky.
Such a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Goated right there.
Yeah. But at least Gojira can say they played the Olympics, something Metallica hasn't done.
Yeah.
I'm sure Metallica's never done the Olympics. Honestly.
This is just proof that Europe's cooler than us.
Yeah.
They have been for years.
Europe's
we won't get a metal band to play like the Super Bowl or any sort of, because this is America. We're not allowed to have nice things.
No.
We're like, no, don't worry. For the Super Bowl, we got Jason Aldean. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, no one asked for that.
Or Beyonce.
The next Olympics are going to be in LA for 2028. So,
suicidal tendencies.
I doubt it.
That would be a sight to behold.
Possessed. They're
Oh,
more Bay Area, but fly them down. It's California. It's the same thing.
Yeah. But
Dark Angel, please.
And then, I don't know. I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, "Can you imagine if the Olympics go to Germany? Who would open, Rammstein or Scorpions?"
Scorpions.
Except.
How many years do you think Scorpions has left? Let's be honest.
That's true.
I say Rammstein. I say Rammstein opens if they go to Germany because Fire, the Torch.
9 tile.
9. No, they probably play.
Personally,
it might be a little bit too much sexual energy in Rammstein there.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard keeping Till under control these days.
I know, but in terms of like the biggest band next to the Scorpions, Rammstein's like there.
Surprisingly, they're not as popular in Germany. They're very popular here, but in their home, country, like they're not as popular.
Yeah.
Maybe Halloween. Can you imagine Halloween opening the Olympics?
Now I would be more interested.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'd be more down for Halloween than.
You know what? You know what? Fuck it. Give me Sodom. Do it. Do it.
That would be the perfect scenario. Or Creator.
No, not Creator. They wouldn't go for Creator because Creator is more satanic. In terms of that whole
satanic.
I know.
Listen, generally the group of people that are saying things are satanic don't know what they're talking about. That was on display so far this year because they thought, all the beheaded people. Oh my God, Satan's like, no, it's Marie Antoinette, and that has unbelievable amounts of relevance to France.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the guillotine.
Yeah,
they should have played Madame Guillotine from the new Saxon album. Just saying.
But oh God, that was such a gross overreaction, and that's proof why we won't have it in America, because the second anything sounds remotely
heavy like that,
subversive, like, oh my God. I mean, we got enough people that are already like every pop star is like, well, they're clearly in the Illuminati. Look at their hand gestures, like, dude, they're dancing. Shut up. Turn off your TV. Go back in your fucking cave.
Go touch grass. Go have sex. Go pet your dog.
Sex grass. Got it. Wait, no. Those are Illuminati things, too.
Birds are actually cameras.
Oh, by the way, you're drinking sparkling ice. When you do numerology, the word sparkling equals 6. The word ice equals 66. You put them together, you get 666. Oh, great. Yeah, sparkling ice is the fucking devil.
It's kind of like...
No wonder I'm saying this, because I drink sparkling ice all the fucking time.
I know y'all remember
those, like, whatever correlation... people have gone down so many of those dumb rabbit holes.
There's this video that I saw years ago about this lady depicting that the monster logo has the fucking 666.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that one.
I was like, what the fuck?
It's like this. Please tell me Xanax and box wine, soccer mom. Tell me the hidden meaning behind the can. You fucking lunatic.
Xanax.
I do find it funny, like my buddy Kamikaze Games many years ago used to do response videos to people making up conspiracy theories about NASCAR, and they would use the stupid numerology shit, like, because Dale Earnhardt died, it caused 9/11, and it's like... I need to know what weed they're smoking in Arizona, because I could use some of that hash.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how high are you when you came up with that idea? Like,
my favorite thing that Kamikaze did was like 100 things he hates about Kyle Busch. He was like, he caused 9/11. He caused terrorists.
Yeah, because that was obviously a parody. But like these damn videos he saw, it's like the fucking, oh dear Lord.
Oh, those were great.
Just those people that use numerology really bugged the shit out of me. It's like, dude, I took like Algebra 2 in high school. You can make anything with numbers.
Yep.
Well, especially if you're already looking for a particular answer, you'll just shape the formula to like, oh my God, that was, not coincidence. Like, no, you made that. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in your fucking head.
Yeah. Trust me, as a person who has a degree on numbers, sometimes some stuff I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, I kind of feel the same way about people that get really heavy into astrology. Like, well, I'm like this because I'm a Pisces. Like, no, you're like this because that's your personality. You have developed it over time by interacting with people and building it and changing over time and blah, blah, blah. And it has nothing to do with the alignment of stars or planets because that's stupid.
Right.
You're saying that because you're a numbnuts.
Yeah, you like reading your horoscopes, like, oh my god, that's exactly like they're purposely vague. Like that's the whole con in terms of like getting you to keep reading them. It's like, oh my god, that very vague. Like it told me today that I would wake up, and they were right. It happened. I woke up today. Like, oh my god.
They told me I was going to take a shit today. Oh my god, I took a shit.
Or like, hell, you want to know proof that you can make numbers, you can make all these numbers seem like something? Well, I'll tell you this. The name James Hetfield equates to 2016. And in 2016, my favorite driver of all time, Carl Edwards, retired from NASCAR. And then you divide that by 2, you get 1,008. And 1,008 is the amount of calories that you eat in a spicy chicken nugget meal from Wendy's. All these numbers are connected. It's like, see how fucking easy it is to do this shit.
There was... It was years ago. It was back when I had a much older YouTube account, and it was just there to like it was like back when it was like fucking MySpace. And there was a dude that was absolutely convinced that the Bible had codes in it, and you'd use something called equidistant letter sequencing to find them. And yeah, it was like playing word search in the Bible, and then lining up everything, to form messages. That it was horseshit because someone says like, dude, that's completely arbitrary. And here I'll show you it is because I'm going to do the same thing. He believed the Bible predicted the assassination of JFK, dude, because of this thing. It was nuts. But yeah, this dude showed him like, no, look, I'll do the same thing you're doing, same formulas. I'm going to do it with Page and Moby Dick, and like, look at this. Oh my God, Moby Dick predicted 9/11 or Dale Earnhardt's car crash. I was like, oh my god, Melville was a prophet. That's the only thing. It's like, no, it's different. It's like, it's not. You just fell down a rabbit hole and you can't dig your way out.
Unless there is scientific proof that this stuff was actually like legitimately. I mean, let's go into the rabbit hole. Now we're into this fucking rabbit hole of like the crazy numerical bullshit.
It's like I said, it's based more on belief rather than rationality or actual science or anything like that. If people want to believe something, they're gonna believe it, but that doesn't change reality. Like I could believe that this Diet Coke is a regular Coke strongly, fervently. It won't change reality. It's still a Diet Coke.
I feel like
dude, I've seen way dumber things than even that.
Oh my head.
Hashtag doomed species.
I feel like I've just aged 30 years.
Oh
yeah. Like I said, there's lots of.
Can we talk about metal, please? Is that what?
Now we're in this rabbit hole. No, oh hell! How did we get in this rabbit hole?
Dude, like I said, it's a weird world out there, and every now and then I like to just like, all right, let's see what people believe in. Holy shit, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Don't get me wrong. Sometimes for the hell of it, I just like go through like Reddit and like read all this fucking crazy shit. And I'm like, how the fuck do people have time to do all this shit? Right now. I'm like, I work a job that's like close to 8 hours a day every day for a week. And I'm like, I don't even have the fucking time to sit on my fucking computer and type all this fucking bullshit. How the fuck do these people have all the time to do all this? Go outside, get a job, get a girlfriend.
Because they've never been laid.
Get laid.
Weird. I mean, like,
they're just weird.
Well, there's a lot of psychological things behind it too. Like, yeah. I mean, I'll argue that conspiracy theories are a way for not bright people to feel smart, because I got the in on this. I know this is real, and I have all these websites that have really not researched a damn thing and are just saying things to back it up. Therefore, me is smart now.
Pornhub
or in the case of people that think that all these numbers and these patterns all connect to things, it's like that is schizophrenia right there.
I mean, I don't know if it's schizophrenia, but it is someone that is not
all there up there.
Yeah. So
01001110011001111.
Yep. All by
the only code I acknowledged was the barcode on the slip.
Oh, you lost your audio.
You lost your voice. Bosch.
Oh no.
It's them. They know.
That's it. The CIA found you.
That reminds me of one of them videos Kamikaze did where somebody was like claiming Jeff Gordon is a demon dragon and he actually had a tinfoil hat on, and in the middle of the video it falls off. He's like, "Oh no, they're coming in! No, they're taking over my head! Say dead! And just went on this like comedic diatribe where he's just going like, oh my god, it was so funny.
What were you saying, boss, before you got cut?
Oh, I got cut. Oh, sorry, my mom called. No, the only numbers I will acknowledge is the barcode on the self-titled Slipknot album, because that's the barcode they use. So,
yeah.
All right. I mean,
the only code you acknowledge is the barcode.
Break the code. Break the wolf.
The code is red. Long live the code.
Good album.
Clever.
Yeah.
Clever. But yeah, definitely the two bands I'm for sure ranking next year, Nile and Bloodbath, because I've just been dying to do those rankings for ages now, but they just never win polls.
I'm going to order that new Bloodbath off of Amazon.
Whenever that happens.
I mean, that album was 2022?
2 years ago, Survival of the Sickest.
And they're all another band, so it might be a little while. I like that last one. The last one was bad.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was my album of the year for 2022 for me.
I have that album. I got two Bullet Thrower albums, For Victory and Woolmaster. I have that in like my little cart. And I got a couple other. New Necrophobic. That thing's going on for sale too on Amazon. I'm like, shit, I can get this dirt cheap.
And it's a killer album.
Oh, dude, that title track, magnifique.
And I love how I always forget the name of that one track on the new album. Let me see it again. Cast in Stone. That almost sounded like the beginning triplet chug reminded me of like if you took Decapitated and Bathory, mashed them together. That opening triplet chug with that big riff. It was like, damn, that was sick. I wish I could have gotten the deluxe edition that came with the bonus track and the Wasp cover, but I couldn't find it.
The Wasp cover is also on that.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know who does that song better for a cover, Necrophobic or Hooded Menace, because they both did it very damn well.
I guess it depends on the mood of the day.
Yeah. But yeah, like the Hooded Menace version was pretty killer off of the last album.
Yeah, I only have the standard version of the last album.
Yeah, same here. Whenever I first heard the album before I bought it, when it was on YouTube, they added that cover, and it's like, damn, that is a damn good cover.
Yeah.
And then I see Necrophobic, and it's like, is everybody covering that Wasp song now all of a sudden?
I have that one. I got the special edition version of Wasp.
Yeah.
No, Wasp. Shit. Necrophobic. My bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the special edition of that. I wanted to get it.
You need to order the special.
The werewolves.
Great stuff.
Nasty.
You guys are fucking brilliantly snide.
Yeah.
You leave. I need to order the special edition one for Opeth because it comes with the signed postcard.
Well, there's two special editions. There's that, and then there's one that's got a Blu-ray with it. But I need to know what's going to be on the Blu-ray first before I decide.
Maybe a behind the scenes.
if it's behind the scenes, I'll definitely get the Blu-ray edition because I always like watching behind the scenes stuff.
Or maybe a concert.
I mean, I got the special edition of Ghost Reveries that has the documentary making of the album, and it was pretty cool. Same with the Lamentations live DVD that also had the making of Deliverance and Damnation, getting to see them and Steven Wilson jam. It was pretty funny. Or actually, one CD I got coming soon. I finally bought Dream Theater Systematic Chaos. I found a cheap copy that came with the making of documentary DVD, and seeing like Dream Theater funny moment compilation videos lately, it's like, man, they had a ball recording that album. Like there was at one point when James was recording the vocals and they were all like telling him that he was a bit off on one line, and James like, yeah, thank you. You guys got any more compliments?
No.
Like sarcastically saying. Or when it was, I forget the song. I think it was the final track of the album where he was trying to sing "I Won't Die for You," and it took him like 5 takes to nail that note. And at one point, Patricia's like, "It's he's like, it's I won't die for you, you fucking dick." Like Petrucci and Portnoy behind the scenes are like the funniest dudes ever, especially Portnoy.
I need to get more Opeth. I just have Still Life and Blackwater Park.
You need everything.
Like everything.
You need everything. Even Heritage, I still think is a good album. For what it was, it's good. Yeah, it was a harsh transition, but still.
Yeah. I want to get My Arms Your Hearse. That's the album I've been jamming to recently.
Yeah.
I mean, then I don't know. Maybe when I go to Houston, since I'm gonna go for a couple of days, hit the record shops. I might find them. I don't know. It depends.
Maybe. And then get Deliverance and Damnation together.
I'm gonna get everything from Opeth because
the perfect pair, right there. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I think on that note, I'm going to call it a stream right there. So it was just fun to go over the show I went to. Who knows when the next show I'm going to is going to happen. Probably won't be this year. Mostly because either time constraints or other plans going on. But 2025, we'll see if I can start a new streak of going to more than one show.
That's how I started. That's how I started. First couple of years of going shows, only one show per year, which later turned to
two, and now you're trying to go to as many as you can.
Oh yeah, like I said, me coming up in September, Till Lindemann, and then in October with Possessed, Creator, Testament, and then in November I have Iron Maiden. So I'm like, yeah, I'm fully booked for the rest of the year. Next year, again, still looking. Hell's Heroes, the possibility.
As soon as tickets go on sale for Hell's Heroes, get a ticket just for the mere fact that it's Hell Ripper playing the States for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that alone. And then, of course, you get to see Sadus and a bunch of other killer bands.
Yeah. I mean, even if Hell Ripper wasn't even there, I've been wanting to go for Hell's Hero for the longest time. Because it's in Houston, it's not that far. I mean, it's like a 6-hour drive for me. I mean, and then I have family in Houston, so I can just easily crash.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you guys who tuned in. So, yeah, tomorrow and Sunday, couple reviews. I got Acid Mass and Carnophage. And then I got probably going to do a response to the video Thralls are putting out tomorrow of the debut albums, best album from the catalog. And then CD collection update, and then I got 5 more Dream Theater albums to go before I record that ranking. So, anyways, we'll see you guys later. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet as always.
Bye.
Later, man.